Today on Goji Center, we will return to the Island of Death and uncover an additional 10 creatures whose top skill is to kill. In the analysis platform, we will study each of these creatures in detail, laying bare their hunting methodologies, weapons, and predatory nature that will leave our test subjects unrecognizable by the time they are finished. If you are the type of person that can handle this type of content, make sure you prove it by subscribing, liking this video, and getting ready to witness the next episode of 10 Brutal Ways to Die in Peter Jackson's Skull Island Episode 2. Quick reminder that we will be discussing a total of 41 creatures in this series. We already covered 10. If you haven't seen it, then it looks like you have some catching up to do. Watch episode 1 and come back. The rest of us will continue to number 1, Flesh Frenzy. In the previous episode, we learned about the existence of some pretty detestable water-dwelling creatures. We begin this list with one that puts them all to shame. The Hydra Cymex, whose name means large serpent bug. This animal is the largest neopede in Skull Island, a class of animals that resembles myriapods, the group that includes centipedes and millipedes, except this creature takes it a step further by measuring up to a staggering 9 to 12 feet in length. This animal's head is tipped with a terrifying maw filled with sharp teeth in a circular arrangement, perfect for perforating its prey while ingesting large chunks of flesh. This animal can also inject venom in its victims. Its venom is more diluted than most of its other relatives, but because it's so large, it can inject larger doses, which are lethal enough to bring down dinosaurs. Humans would stand no chance against this sort of attack. An animal like this would seek the largest surface area to strike, meaning your back, chest, or stomach in most cases. These would cave in your organs, biting through skin, fat, and muscle with ease. The amount of blood loss inflicted would mean anyone would perish within the first few seconds. Number 2. Scorpion Swarm. Neopedes were really common in Skull Island, but the most specialized and numerous was one strange-looking one known as the Scorpiopede. Something to note about these said neopedes is that the vast majority of them inject venom orally, but these guys are different. Scorpiopedes evolved into animals that can inflict venom through their tails, similar to scorpions. These live in very large groups surrounding fresh bodies of water. Once an animal, or in this case a human, enters their territory, all surrounding scorpiopedes will swarm the victim, using its tail to inflict doses of harmful toxins that can kill a smaller human with a single dose. But this test subject will most definitely check out after the second one. This is now followed by dozens of scorpiopedes nibbling at the soft flesh after the weak and motionless body fades away. Succumbing to the poison first will be a mercy, since the other option will be staying alive while these things pick your flesh off your bones. Number 3. Blood Mace. This is the Calcaresaurus, a medium-sized reptile with some nasty surprises. Of course, inflicted on those stupid enough to get too close. This reptile may ring a bell to those who are familiar with ankylosaurids. But despite their appearance, they are actually more like lizards such as the bearded dragon. This animal is in fact a carnivore, but it won't go out of its way to hunt large, fast-moving prey, unless they get too close to him. These spikes grant the Calcaresaurus immunity to most predators, since they not only provide a spiky deterrent, but can also secrete a strong irritant that will cause allergic reactions to whatever was hit. That's just one dose. Now, if any human was dumb enough to get too close, this animal would turn into a meat-grinding machine, repeatedly crashing into the intruder using its own body as a weapon. A single impact from its thorny tail would carry enough force to grip you and tear out chunks of flesh. Anyone who survives the initial assault will end up succumbing to the infected open wounds, irritated flesh, and severe blood loss. Number 4. Airborne Terror. In this episode, death will also rain down from the sky. This island has a vast array of airborne predators, but not many that will have the courage to bring down large prey, except this one, the pug bat. This animal isn't that large, with a wingspan that measures only 2 to 3 feet. Its strength comes in this animal's numbers. These animals use the cover of night to ambush their prey. A swarm of these would be enough to bring down large, sick, and weak herbivores, specifically aiming for the neck and belly where the softer skin is located. These will then bite, using their very sharp teeth. Their bald heads are like this so that they can comfortably stick their heads inside their victims and pull out flesh. There is an additional factor to take into account here. This animal's saliva contains bacteria that affects the victim's heart. You heard that right. This bacteria targets the victim's cardiac tissues, eventually causing a heart attack after a couple of minutes of getting bit. This aids in bringing down large prey, but also means that just 2 or even 1 will be enough to bring down a human. Again, this is a mercy considering that if you don't die soon, you will have to withstand getting eaten alive. Number 5. Gory plunge. At this point, you may realize that there is no such thing as a safe body of water. The way the next animal hunts will make you think twice before even taking a sip of fresh water. This is the Turturcasis, and its name means turtle helmet, but not because this species of animals is related to turtles, but rather because of the way that it hunts. Most turtles are capable of retreating inside their shells for protection. The Turturcasis bypasses this by literally plunging its head inside the turtle's protection, eating it inside its own shell, earning it the name turtle helmet. Now, it's important to note that an animal like this will not only eat turtles. Since its head is equipped with musculature that allows this animal to make such maneuvers, it's not too far-fetched to assume that these animals will do the same to this test subject, aiming at this person's torso using its sharp array of teeth to pull out chunks of flesh. There will be no merciful way to go in this scenario, no immediate death, only excruciating pain while you feel muscle fibers literally get ripped from your body. Number 6. Brutal Stomp. In the previous episode, we discussed a predatory flightless bird that was pretty good at cracking skulls. Today, we will discuss another predatory bird that's a bit similar but bigger, the Brutornis. Unlike its relative, the Zoropteryx, this guy is a bit stockier and is known for killing smaller creatures with a single chomp of its large beak. Today, we will discuss another method of killing prey, which will be brought to you by this creature's incredible weight. Note that real-life flightless birds such as ostriches are known for running down their enemies and inflicting lethal kicks. We'd like to think that these birds here were no different, but given that they are in fact a lot bigger, the kicks inflicted must have been a lot more deadly. These sharp tips moving at high speeds would slash through the victim's stomach, kicking away anything underneath and knocking his air out of his lungs. But the bird is not finished. To end this victim, this creature will proceed to stomp the chest until the mutilated corpse remains unrecognizable. Number 7. Fatal Slash. This animal is known as the Accidactylus. As you can see, this animal has an impressive and rather eccentric pair of hands that are used primarily for offense. Moving up to its jaws, we see that these short teeth may not look like much, but packed with these strong jaw muscles, they would technically be able to crunch through your arms. This is because this creature feeds mostly on hard-shelled animals such as turtles or crabs. It's the size of this animal that makes it a lethal encounter to a human. One swipe of these 2 long claws would most likely land on the upper torso of the victim, slashing through, leaving the victim in shock and disbelief while he witnesses his entire chest be cut open. These jaws are no joke either. These short, stocky teeth would work perfect for projecting this bite force on these small tips, puncturing the test subject's flesh and ripping up with ease. Getting an entire arm ripped off is a horrible way to leave existence, but probably not worse than getting buried alive inside this next monster. Number 8. Living Tomb. Going back underwater in the deep swamps of Skull Island, we might possibly find the most nightmarish fish in this biome, the sepulchro. Its name means ugly grave mouth, and you are about to find out why. These creatures have a special adaptation that allows them to swallow many animals at once or a large one. Their mouth is capable of expanding wide enough to allow the entry and ingestion of larger creatures. Its stomach is lined with flexible membranes that keep said prey inside and prevent it from escaping. This animal's hunting method is simple. First, it lays low, waiting for the victim to be in close proximity to lay an ambush. Suddenly, this fish will swim upward with its mouth wide open, wrapping its mandibles around its prey and closing its mouth shut. This test subject will still be alive, but will most likely either suffocate or drown from being trapped inside such a colossal animal. The terrifying part is that in most cases, these stomach casings are transparent somewhat, meaning that if this water is well lit, you may actually witness what or who is inside this fish. Up next, the butchery will be conducted by perhaps the most brutal and feared inhabitants of Skull Island. Number 9. Hunted and executed. Here in Skull Island, predators and hunters take form as savage beasts, bloodthirsty fauna, and even humans who will go out of their way to hunt and even execute you. For the first time in Goji Center's 10 Ways to Die series, we'll include humans into the mix. These islanders don't play around when it's time to kill. As seen in the film, these guys carry with them a wide variety of weaponry, from spears, ranged weapons, knives, and clubs. Getting killed by these people would be a result of you wandering around the areas between the ocean and the walls, which keep out some of the dangers that are housed in the island's mainland. Here, you're most likely to get hit by a variety of ranged weaponry, such as this one. Spears that are built to effortlessly impale through a torso, but inflict extreme damage on the way out thanks to these backwards-facing hooks. These people take this to another level with their clubs. These are made of bony material with tooth-like additions which concentrate all force on these tips. Once placed on this specialized stone, this club will effortlessly crush a skull along this area, causing irrecoverable brain damage, killing the victim immediately. At the end of this series, we will cover another creative method of sacrifice conducted by these natives, a result of a symbiosis between these people and the king of the island. But now, let's reveal perhaps the most powerful predator ever seen in this biome. Number 10. Lethal Ambush. Up next is the largest and most powerful predator in this island, the Vistatosaurus rex. Yes, these are descendants of the popular Tyrannosaurus rex, except these guys evolved to be even more lethal hunters. These things can grow up to a whopping 50 feet in length, making it almost unstoppable and capable of bringing down almost any creature in Skull Island. Don't let their large size fool you. These things are also ambush hunters, using their dark-colored skin as cover, waiting for the unsuspecting victim to get close enough and go in for the kill. Outrunning this creature in open ground isn't an option for us humans. Despite their large size, these things can run up to 25 miles per hour easily, catching up to anyone running away. Fortunately for us humans, getting crushed by leg or jaw will be relatively painless if the impact is inflicted in these areas. Given that this animal is so large, a single chomp from this creature will come with enough force to crush a victim, almost exploding from the impact. But what if it gets to swallow the test subject? The V-Rex is actually known for being able to break down almost anything with its stomach acids. As you travel down this animal's esophagus, the feeling of claustrophobia will kick in. Asphyxiation will occur since you won't have enough room to breathe comfortably, and you will most likely inhale toxic gases that will knock your lights out in a few moments. If you hold your breath in hopes to find more breathable air, you will do nothing but prolong the pain. Getting showered by these acids will leave you skinless within the hour, dead within minutes. We will be covering the V-Rex in more depth in a future episode. If you love learning about these creatures and don't want to miss the next episode, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.